Hello, everyone. I have a document here that I have on my Gumroad. I've been talking about it for the past 4 or 5 months that I've been using. Um, it is basically a return to sender lawfully in common law, which is requires a third party affidavit that you write on the envelope itself. It is a contract law. You have to do it within 72 hours of getting a traffic ticket, a warrant. Here in the document it explains you can also do it for presentments, bills. Um, I've never done it for bills, so I have done it for tickets, traffic tickets mostly, and other things that they send me. Okay, so this is a process that you basically get your unwanted document, you open it, and then you send all the pertaining, all the things that come in that envelope in another envelope. But this document will explain. But I'm just going to talk about it because it's very important. Um, because everything that you get in your mail, and including a traffic ticket that you get from on the road, is an offer to contract. So basically, you're going to reject that contract. Okay. So I'm going to go over a little bit. Um, Not the whole process because you can get this document on Gumroad. So I have it there. So let's talk about it. Okay. So the process is called avoid being served. Okay. So let me start at this. Okay. This is the third party affidavit that you put on the back of the envelope. I've done it for months and months, and it really works. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. Okay, why? Let's start here. Why does this work? Questions and answers. This is all about due process, which requires all three of these jurisdictional events need to happen. So which three should occur or it becomes null and void? Non-issue. It becomes a non-issue. So number one, they must serve you and prove written notice upon you. Okay. So first, must serve and prove written notice. Okay. Number two, must serve proper service of process. Okay. And third, must obtain acceptance for contract jurisdiction to attach. To attach to that document, that traffic ticket, or that unwanted billing error that comes to your home address. Hopefully, you are following me in doing the post office process where you get a PO box and send all your bills to the PO box. Okay, that's another process. So by doing this, uh, these three occurs. The process of the system is to deprive them with these three, okay? If they lack one, you can win if you have to countersue them for three due processes failing on the record. Keep in mind, however, they may retest test you a few times. Simply repeat the process. They have nothing until you accept the offer. So they have nothing on you until everything is an offer. So they have nothing on you if you send it back. It's like a sophisticated uh, return to sender. It really works. So don't accept the offer. So what's the process based on? In the definition of contract, it requires essentially an offer and acceptance, okay? In consideration of value to be a contract. It is the time you accept that offer that it goes into effect in law. At that time, the offerer can no longer withdraw the offers. Then and only then are both parties are immediately bound and held to a specific performance of the newly arised contract by accepting it, by acceptance. So don't do that. Don't accept it, especially a traffic ticket where you, of course, did not. A disclaimer here: this is not for legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Traffic tickets I'm talking about where you have not hurt anybody, when you have not actually committed a crime in common law, in natural law, hurt someone or damage or anything like that, stole property. So when it's just a simple, traffic ticket, like you run a light or you don't have insurance or you don't have tax and stuff like that. Yes. When a summons, a warrant, okay, when a summons, a warrant, a ticket, or a bill, etc., is presented to you, we teach you to avoid the voluntary acceptance trap. It's a trap, okay? This is key. No contract, no authority to proceed. This works every time if you follow through when needed. They may test you, but stay on the issue to win. Be persistent. Send it back. I sent a DMV. Well, I'm teaching this, right? And my friend had a ticket, and the DMV kept, sending him notices and notices. Send it back. We send it back with this method. Completely disappeared. Okay. Because you volunteer to go to court. Um, when you get a ticket, you volunteer to go to court. I call it volunteering to go to court. You don't have to. You can discharge, you can dismiss all this, okay, in your private capacity. When you don't volunteer to go to work, it's if you get arrested and you are dragged, not voluntarily, through all this. I call it drag you through the mud of, courts and stuff like that. You are a private citizen. You're in the private. And for those of you that are in the private, want to be in the private, you don't commingle with these people, with the courts. That's my belief. Okay, what is the legal definition of acceptance? Aren't they asking someone to appear? And so definition of appearance is if one does anything beneficial to one party or detrimental to another party. They transverse and have made appearance into the case as are now party to the case, okay? If it is not neutral, you have made appearance and you have therefore created a controversy for the enemy to presume you are playing in. You just fell into the appearance trap. So, like when it comes to courts, the 4 bonds that they issue in your all caps name, the bid bond, the payment bond, the surety bond, and the performance bond, which is the performance is the one that you go there to court volunteering it to the court to perform. They need you to perform on these bonds. Okay, so don't volunteer. Okay, you don't have to. Like I said, if you are dragged into by being arrested, it's something else. And if you have like a bail bond or something like that, it is a little bit different. So think about these things. Okay, how does it? Okay, this is important. How does the IRS course trick us into being subjected to the private U.S. corporation, District of Columbia rules and regulations, and presume a legal contract? Okay, this is gonna talk about the IRS a little bit here. So get this document. It's completely free, and learn about it if you're new to this information. So and okay, so the answer will be income tax. IRS is collected by voluntary compliance. So income tax, paying taxes is voluntary. It's voluntary. You let them know your business. Okay. Of course, you have to be mindful that you have to do certain things to hide in your private capacity to trust and other things. So another process that you can do. Okay. They use basic contract law. Once volunteers into the being a regulated enterprise, one must comply with the regulations of the enterprise. That's all. So this is important right here. By implementing a strategy number 1, which is return to sender, which is on top of this paper document, you discontinue volunteering, okay? Terminates the presumption of contract. The simple procedure must be repeated each and every time an offer is presented, always and forever. Otherwise, a new contract arises when you respond incorrectly. You actually recontract and fall into the acceptance trap again. And it's always about contract, nothing more. And then it goes on to explain a little bit about taxes, who actually is lawfully required to file with the IRS. The answer is if you enjoy a government job, a privilege, not a right, or some other government granted benefits, privileges, licenses, title of nobility, such as voter, taxpayer, citizen of. This is very important right here. Resident of, address in a zip code. Okay, that's what I said. Get off the zip code. Get all the mail to a PO box. There's a process for that. Okay. Federal district member of, resident agent of, or accept any opportunity offered from the government. We cannot help you as we cannot help you as this one. Okay, skip. We cannot help you as one may actually owe the excise tax. Sorry about that. This is a return for enjoying the privileges, yep, or benefits being enjoyed. So see International Shoe Company versus State of Washington, which is not to say you cannot use the techniques to avoid accepting new offers generically. This is not about taxes, but the activity of qualified and where you are. How do courts get jurisdiction over us? The answer is in order to have jurisdiction to adjudicate a case, controversy, or controversy, it requires a contract over which there exists a dispute or disagreement, or even if so-called criminal matter. When there is no acceptance, there is no contract, and therefore no controversy over the matter exists. Okay. I'm just going to leave it here. So this is a very good document and also goes into, let me see, the other part, which is very important. Please get this document. Now it has another process right here. What if I'm handed a warrant or arrest or in jury or a jury situation? You also have the opportunity to pay it with a signature. Yes, really effective with a promissory note. Get hold of the papers, if served to you, such as warrant, civil summons, etc., and write this on the back, hopefully in blue or red ink. If a civil matter versus criminal, you can write across the front as well. Okay, so on the front, you're going to put accepted as grantee. And on the back, you'll write return as grantor. Pay to the order of your treasury. Autograph, put your signature. Just the usual signature, right? And possibly optionally add on the back. Tender for full satisfaction and accord, and sign it. Then tell them firmly to take this to their supervisor and accounting department for settlement of the matter. Then hold that position that is settled. Isn't it settled? Yes. That gives them the ability to pay and settle the matter in the court accounting. Everything else, those course is accounting. Everything in the course is accounting. All right, so I'm just going to leave it here. Please get this document, very powerful, and I hope it helps. And follow me for more process, more tips. Have a great day.